Hello, I am Ashwini Saurabh Mehras from Department of Statistics, RBNB College, Sri Rampur. Today, I am going to teach type of characteristics. So, first characteristics is attribute. So, attribute means any qualitative characteristic which cannot be measured in numbers. So, qualitative characteristic which cannot be measured in numbers. For example, gender or beauty or intelligence or blood group. So these kind of examples are there which we cannot measure in numbers. So they are qualitative type characteristics and hence they are called attribute. The second type is variable. So variable means any quantitative characteristic which can be measured in numbers is called variable. So for example, income of a person or electricity consumption or height or weight and also the marks of students. So these type of examples are variables. So there are two types of characteristics which is attribute and variable. And in statistics, the 4 scale of measurement are there for measuring these type of characteristics. We will take one by one. So the first scale is nominal scale. So nominal scale consists of 2 or more classes or which are the named categories are called the nominal scale. So for example, classification of nominal scale consists of the 2 or more categories. They are named categories, that is classes. For example, classification of individuals according to their income. So there are many classes in this case. The another example is classification of a person or of a student according to his division of the same standard. So this is the another example of nominal scale. Also the house number, survey number, pin code. So these all are belong to the nominal scale. Note that here in nominal scale, if numbers are used, they are just for arbitrary purpose. Means they serve the only they are there for the only identification purpose. So we can interchange the numbers in nominal scale. This is the actually drawback of this nominal scale. The another type of scale is ordinal scale. So in ordinal scale, there are numbers given to the groups. Means the groups are numbered and which have a proper meaning. That is, they are the ranks. They serve the purpose of ranks. So for example of ordinal scale, we can take the group of individuals according to their income, means rich, middle class or poor class. I am writing this example. So, groups according so these are not interchangeable. Here the numbers have served the purpose of ranks. So here we can see that it is according to the ranking. So numbers are not interchangeable. So the drawback of nominal scale is covered in this type of scale, that is ordinal scale. In this case, the groups are given the numbers. We can give the many examples, such as group of students according to the grades in examination, means pass class or first class, second class or fail class or any distinction class. So these type of groups may be there in the ordinal scale. There are many examples, such as group of person according to their gender, means male or female, or according to the height, means smaller or shorter, medium and highest. So these type of classes, groups can be done in the ordinal scale of measurement. For example, suppose there are three individuals A, B and C, and they are grouped according to their height. So C is the shortest, B is middle and C, A is shortest and C is the highest person. But here we can see that the ranks are 1, 2, 3. And the ranks are equispaced, but we cannot say that these persons are having equispaced heights. Okay, so it can be said that C is having triple the height than A, or B is having double the height than A. So we can't say that this type. So this is the drawback of this scale, and this drawback is covered in the next type of scale, which is interval scale of measurement. But here note that we have seen the two scales which are nominal and ordinal, and both these scales are used to measure the attributes. So the characteristic attribute is measured by using these two scales. The remaining characteristic, that is the variable, and this is measured for the further by using the further two scales. So let's see the third type of scale, which is interval scale. So interval scale of measurement has equal units of measurement, and the 0 point is arbitrary. So this is the definition. It has equal number of units of measurement and the point 0 is arbitrary. So let's see one example to clear this concept. So in now day-to-day life, we measure the temperature by using the degree Celsius or Fahrenheit. So while measuring these points, we can take 0 as our convenience, and the 30 degrees Celsius if we compare this, we cannot say that this 60 degree Celsius has the double heat as that of 30 degree Celsius. So we cannot say that. Also, when there is a 0 degree Celsius, we cannot say that there is an absence of heat. Okay, so this is the drawback. But in interval scale, all units are equispaced, means 10 to 20 or 20 to 30. So while measuring in an interval scale, the 10 to 20 has the same difference as that of 20 to 30. So this is for the example of interval scale. And all these drawbacks in nominal, ordinal or interval scale are covered by the fourth type of scale, which is of measurement, which is ratio scale. So ratio scale has equal units of measurements or objects, but here the 0 point is not arbitrary. We can start from the 0, and in day-to-day life all the variables, that is height, weight or temperature, these all kinds are measured by the type ratio scale. So this is all about the type of scales which are measured to characteristic, that is to measure the characteristics, these type of scales are used. So let's see the next concept. Type of variables. So as we seen the definition of variable. So variable it is any quantitative characteristic which can be measured, but we can measure in different methods, such as discrete variable and continuous variable. So these are the two main types of variables. Let's see one by one. So discrete variable is that which we can count. Okay, so the definition is a variable which takes the values which are countable or countably infinite type, they are called the discrete variable. That is, there are further two types which are countable and countably infinite. Means if there is a characteristic such as number of students, so they are countable. So this is type of discrete variable. Also the number of stars in sky, so they are countable but infinite. Okay, so it is also included in the discrete variable. So a variable which takes any particular values are called the discrete variable, and generally they are integral type. Okay, so this is all about the discrete variable. Let's see some examples, such as number of students in a class, or marks obtained in any subject, or population of a country, electricity consumption in unit. Okay, so when we take any integer unit, so it is the type of discrete variable. And the next type is continuous variable, means a variable which takes the values in any particular range. So there is a range or interval for measuring this continuous variable. I will write down its definition. Which takes range set, or we can say that in the interval type of form. So they are called as the continuous variable. And for example, height of a person between 5 to 6 feet or weight of person between 50 to 60 kilogram. So these are the interval type and they are having the particular range set. Okay, so and the variables, that is height, weight, or we can say that temperature. So temperature may be between 30 degree to 40 degree or anything or any interval. So 30 to 31 is also the interval. So these type of variables are continuous type. So they take the uncountably infinite number of points in it, means the points which are not countable as a 0, 1, 2 or so on, they are not countable in the range set. So they are the continuous variable. We can see many examples such as the speed of a vehicle or electricity consumption of a family in a month. So these types are included in the these examples are included in the continuous type of variable. So this is the discrete and continuous variable, which is the type of variable. We can also say in the form that discrete includes the countable number of points or countably infinite number of points, and the continuous variable includes the uncountably infinite number of points. So when it includes countable or countably infinite number of points, it will be the discrete, and when any example includes the uncountably infinite number of points for a given variable, then that must be a continuous variable. So this is all about the type of variables. Let's see the next concept. Which is methods of data collection. So when we go for collecting the data, we can use many methods such as the survey method. We can directly go and collect the information from the unit. So this is the survey method. And the next method is laboratory experiments. In laboratory, there are various experiments may be conducted and readings may be noted down. So this is the method of data collection. And third method is simulation. So this method is particularly used in industries or business. This is a very famous method, and in that method we collect the data from the computers. That is, computer will generate the data. Okay, so these types are there for data collection. And particularly the data is having two types. Means data can be collected in the two types, that is types of data. Next point is types of data. The first is primary data. Note that this primary data means the original data. The data which is collected by the investigator. So investigator collects this data through various methods. That is, here the famous method is census method. So in the current situation, the census method is very famous example for collecting the primary data, which is the original data. So here primary data is a much reliable because investigator has collected it by himself. So this is the reliable data. And the second is secondary data. The secondary data means the data which is collected by office records or bulletins, or the data which is already collected by someone. If A has collected the primary data and B uses his data, then B is using the secondary type of data. So if A has collected already the data from persons or from units and B is using that ready-made data, okay, so A have collected by himself, that's why he is using his primary data, that is original data, but B is using the secondary data, means the data which is already available. So here we can see that there is a difference between these two methods, and we can write down the difference as so the first point is the method. Okay, in primary data type of data, the data is collected by the investigator and here office records or bulletin. I am not writing the every point. So primary data is collected by investigator. So he can use many methods such as a questionnaire. So he can give questionnaire to the people and he can collect the data, or indirectly oral investigation he may do, means he can do the phone call and he can collect the data from the individuals. So he can use these type of methods, or he himself can do the survey. So these types the investigator can do. And here in the secondary data, the data is collected from the news, office records or bulletins or ready-made records from any institution. The second main difference is this data is more reliable. And we can say here that less reliable than primary data. So this is obviously collected by yourself is more reliable data. The third difference is, so as the investigator is collecting the data, he may take lots of time and efforts. Okay, so more time consuming, and this saves our time, or less time consuming. So as already collected data is there, that's why it takes the less money also. So in this type we can write here also that it is the more efforts will take and more money will be required to collect the primary type of data, and more efforts in the sense more investigators may be needed when there is a huge type of data. And the last difference is we can elicit our objects, okay, from the primary data. So these are the types of data, and we have learned about methods of collection of that data, that is the survey method, or we can do the laboratory experiments, and we can take the simulation type of data. The next point is population and sample. So while studying the descriptive statistics, this concept is very famous in the statistics, that is population and sample. Population means any group of persons or group of objects which are under study is called as the population. And when it is not possible to collect or to take information from all the population, we will go for the sample. And the definition of sample is any part of the population is called as the sample. Example for population is the while studying the industries in a particular area are our population, or while studying any result of a particular college, the number of students in that college is considered as our population. And we will study about the sample in my next video lecture. Hope you enjoyed my lecture. Thank you.